What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Williamson. I got a super special guest today on, Mr. Justin Campbell. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, Courtney?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. Can't complain, man. How
Yes,
you
sir.
been
Yes,
doing in the
sir.
woods?
Man, trying to get in there, with the move and everything. It's been a little hectic, but outside of that, it ain't been going too bad. I'm getting used to the new surroundings.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. You moved to Texas on me, huh?
Yeah, I moved back. I was up in Dallas first, then I went home to Virginia for a little while. Now I'm back down here on the coast and not too far from Houston, on a little bit south of Houston.
That's what's up. Yeah, you down there with my homies, Bubba Ray, Pat, and all them.
Yeah, good old Bubba Ray, man. I just got off the phone with him probably 20, 30 minutes ago, right before we got started. When you had called me earlier before we started recording, I was talking to
Yeah, Bubba, he's something else, man.
him. Something else is ain't even a word, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, finally got you on. I know it's been a long time coming, man. I've been wanting to get you on here for a while. First off, I want to say thank you for always supporting my brand and my channel and everything, man. You was one of the first people to kind of reach out to me and tell me how I was doing and kind of give me a kind of pat on the back, man. So I want to thank you for that, man. It's means more to me than I can ever tell you, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem, man. It's genuine too. Like I really, really support what you're doing. I got something similar views and things like that, man. I really was vibing with what you had going on. I really met everything I told you, though, man. Big supporter right here from me.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. So, what you got coming down the pipeline? I know you say you're gonna try to do something similar to this, and
Yeah,
uh,
something similar. Not. I don't want to give away too much right now because until I got it ready. But similar vein. Definitely going to include a podcast with it. Sharing stories. Similar vein to what you're doing. Same mission. Because like you say, we do this too. People need to see that when you turn on the TV, you turn on Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever you listen to. You need to see and hear from somebody that look like you. I think that's pretty important.
it is, especially man for these young cats out here, man, that coming up. Like my son. Like I grew up. I've told the story 1,000 times. Growing up, I didn't see nobody that looked like me on TV, and now
Exactly.
so I want to give something to these kids, man. So, maybe when I'm dead and gone, they'll find me on YouTube or IG or somewhere and be like, oh, okay, I can do this too. So
Yeah, same, man. And a lot of times when you see me, the two little ones just off to the side somewhere, I got a 7 and a about to be 7 and about to be 11 on Monday. Um,
that's what's up.
so I got a son, I got a little boy and a little girl. They not too far behind. They encourage me. And they keep me going.
Yeah, I got a 7-year old too, man. He's at that stage when he wants to follow daddy around everywhere and do what daddy does. So
The best stage in the world, man. Ain't nothing like it.
I love it. Yeah, he wants to be outside with me everywhere I go. It's like my
Man,
look.
ain't that a amazing feeling?
Yeah, man. Because the first 6 years, I feel like he was around his mama all the time and wanted to be all up under her. Now it's all me, and I think
Yeah. I
it's
know
giving me.
exactly where you're coming from with that. I felt a little offended at first. I'm like, I participated in this too, right?
Right, exactly. I'm like, I know he loves me. I was like, but does he like me? Like, come on
Right.
now.
Same.
Yeah, man. So how'd you get introduced to the outdoors, man? How'd you get into it?
I think it's the same story as pretty much a lot of us had. My grandfather and my uncles coming up, they hunted, they fished. That's what they did. Growing up, I wanted to be around the boys, doing what they did. So if they was outside, wherever they were, come from a big old family. Mom's youngest of 16. So I have 7 uncles growing up. So they all get together at grandparents' house. I was always over there. They took me. First thing I got into was squirrel hunting. Started off with small game, and then it just grew and grew from there.
Yeah, I get that. My dad, he's God rest his soul. I lost him at 14. But
Yeah, rest in
he
peace to your
was
pops, man. I can't
appreciate
imagine.
it. Second oldest, 15, and then my mom was the youngest at 10. So
Oh, you
my
got it big on both sides.
yeah, I
Great.
got
There
big on
you
both
go.
sides. So I think I got 5. There's 5 left on mom's side, and I think there's 7 left on dad's side. maybe 8. I can't remember.
Well, we got 7. I think I got 7 aunts left, and I'm still holding with 6 uncles, I believe, so far. Some similar to that.
Yeah, most black families, man, they got big families on both sides anyway.
Yeah,
For
and
real.
from our grandparents' generation, like they had a lot of time on their hands, apparently, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean they had to have somebody to, get on that farm with them, man. You know what I'm saying? To get
Yeah,
the
need some
crops
help.
in.
That's one
Yeah,
way to do it. Create your own labor.
yeah. We need somebody to help, picking this cotton or doing this tobacco or planting this corn, man. They had mules and stuff back in. They didn't have tractors and all that.
Ooh-wee.
I can't imagine, man.
I can't imagine with a mule or just like an actual, garden to hoe, like just manually tilling on those
Crazy.
big plots. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, man. So what's your thing? What's your thing? Deer hunting, waterfowl, turkey. What's your main thing that you mostly try to go out there and hunt?
Main thing, oh man, how do I want to say it? If I could pick one thing and one thing only, it'd be turkey hunting. That's 1,000%. I just like the interaction, the back and forth, getting out there. It's just something about being out there in the springtime, chasing those birds. If I had
Yeah,
to do it, so I'd say that's my main thing. Recently got into waterfowl, but I'm a big bow hunter. I love shooting my bow. You see me on the stories all the time. I shoot it just about every single day. Uh,
yeah,
but I enjoy the deer hunting. This waterfowl journey's got me a little excited. Getting into that and just seeing what that's about. It's a whole different world, whole different ball game so far. But the people have been great. You've been a big part of that, so I want to say thank you to that for the
yeah,
connections you helped me make so quickly. Just relocating here, but yeah, definitely whitetail, chasing turkeys, and I have an obsession with elk. Man, there's something about it, like with the calls and the vocalization. Getting out there to Colorado, got to see what it's going to look like with the changes that they just made this year. You got to draw for non-resident archery, but hopefully I'll be out there in September doing that as well.
yeah, man. I'm year 3 in the waterfowling, and I don't see myself ever turning back. Uh, it's it's a feeling that I can't describe it unless you get out there and do it for yourself. And I tell
I,
everybody that.
no, I know what you mean. I went for the very, very first time just a few days ago, and didn't get any birds, didn't see many, but just being out there like that early in the morning time, it was just a different excitement. I really hadn't had that excitement with something new hunting wise since the first time I probably picked up that bow, and I was in that tree stand, and I about fell off of it when I had a doe come in at about 28 yards. You can give me the biggest buck you ever seen with a rifle and a scope, and I'm just as calm as you can be, but I got to shaking like just something I never felt before. So I'd have a hard time putting the bow down as well because of the close proximity, man. Like that first time was crazy. Completely missed the shot too, by the way. Smooth over the back, like I never been that uncomposed in the woods before. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's that bow hunt is a different animal, man. Like I grew up mostly hunting with rifles and shotguns, and I had a guy in college that I met at the gym. Shout out to Clay Kirby. I think I've told this story 1,000 times too, but he taught me how to shoot a bow in his backyard in like 20 minutes. And every day when I got out of class, got out of the gym, I'm calling him like, "Hey, I'm coming over. I want to shoot." And it just so happened that he was about to upgrade his bow to something new because he'd had that bow for like 4 years. I ended up getting I think it was a Bowtech Old Glory is what it was. I bought that thing for like $300. It took me a while to get the money to him because broke college kid.
Yeah.
Didn't want to ask mom and dad. I wanted to get out there and grind and get it myself. I took care of that thing, man, and that's where my obsession with bow hunting came, man. And it's just one of them things, man. Like I tell people, it's poetry in motion. That stick and string, when you harvest something with that arrow and that bow for the first time, man, it's nothing like it. Now, I still get out there with my rifle. Don't get me wrong, but uh, to get that close to an animal, 35, 40 yards, And,
or
to
less
see it
even. It's
or
insane.
less, yeah, it's something crazy because I feel like anybody with a scope and a rifle can get out there 100 yards, 200 yards, and put a good shot on a doe or a buck. But to get them in that close, and be stealthy with it, get your scent right, got your wind right, and when you pull back and let that arrow fly, man, it's something different, man.
Ain't nothing in the world like it, man. Like the whole process. Like even if you don't, even on those days where you might just be out there, you might not have a doe tag or whatever, but just being in the mix that close and going unnoticed is hard. It's really, really hard to beat when it comes to the deer woods anyway, for me.
It
But
is.
and I've always been like in closer proximity, like you mentioned, rifle. My county where I grew up in Virginia, believe it or not, shotgun only, but you can shoot a muzzle loader. How
Mm,
or why that makes sense? To who? I don't know, because muzzle loaders these days can shoot pretty far. So we had
yeah,
to keep it to shotguns. But we actually, I one of my uncles is a tree stand guy. He does it the traditional way. But like when I really, really first started, it was the drives with the dogs, running the dogs. It's a big thing in the part of Virginia where I'm from.
yeah, I've heard
Everything's
about
running a mile an hour, so you're shooting with buckshot. And everything coming out that woods hauling butt often like real close. That's fun and exciting too, but haven't really done that in a long time. Just kind of grew out of that, I guess.
yeah,
But that tree stand being up close or in a ground blind even, because I think you like me. If I can hunt on the ground, I will. I'll get up
yeah.
in the
I
tree,
ain't,
but
I ain't getting in no tree.
I'll
You
get
ain't
up
getting
there.
in a
Don't get me
tree.
wrong. I'll
I
get
ain't
up
getting up
there.
there.
I ain't scared of heights and nothing like that. But it's just something about being on the ground level, trying to do it too. That extra element of difficulty, I guess.
I'm
Seeing how
three.
much you can get away with.
I'm 300 pounds. I'm scared of heights. I ain't getting up there.
Hey, I'm not too far behind you. I'm 6'4", about 255, 260 myself, but I'll still climb it. But they need to start making something that got a bigger safety margin for weight for us bigger guys.
Yeah,
Most of them you see, they'll say 300 pounds. I'd be scared to put too much in the book bag when I got all those layers on in the winter time. Know what I mean?
yeah. We had a guy in our community a couple years ago. Everybody knew him. He was a big time hunter, African American man, bigger guy. Give you the shirt off his back. I mean, he was one of them guys that he just lit up every room that he was in. Well, the story I heard, he went to his stand opening morning, and I think it had been raining that morning. Climbing up to his stand, and he didn't make it, and they
When you say he
basically
didn't
found
make it, like he didn't make it up to the stand, or
he
he
didn't
didn't
make
make
it
it,
up.
didn't make it.
He didn't make it up to the stand. Something happened with the safety harness or something. I'm not really sure what happened, but we lost a good man that day. That's all I
Oh
know.
man, that's
So,
unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. Never want to hear that.
and after that, man, I was just like, because my best friend, he's a big saddle hunter now, but at the time we had a 2-man tree stand that I got up in it a couple times and didn't really feel comfortable the first time. Second time went up there, I was like, okay, I feel comfortable, I have my harness and stuff on. But after that, man, like that story that I heard, I was like, man,
That was enough. It would give me pause too.
I ain't
Like
getting
that's
up
how I
there.
feel about climbers. You won't catch me dead or alive in a climbing tree stand. If that's the way I gotta hunt, I'm gonna go ahead and stay at home. I just don't. I don't like them. I didn't feel comfortable in the one that I had. I don't know what it was, but no climbers for me. Anything else, I'm good with, but I don't
I
want to do
hear
the
that.
climbing.
I hear that. What kind of bow are you shooting?
I'm shooting a Matthews V3X for a few more days. I guess it depends on what they're gonna do here in a couple days, whether that's gonna change or not.
I think the 19th, I think, is when they're supposed to announce their
Yeah,
new
it
bow.
is. It is. It's the 19th, but I'm shooting a V3X for right now. You shoot prime, is it?
Yeah, I shoot a prime right now. I had a Matthews. It's no dig to Matthews, what I'm about to say. So if there's any Matthews guys out there, don't come for me. But
Don't do them too bad. You know how they do. They got a good following.
so I started off, like I said, I started off with Bowtech and having, limb snappage and all that stuff. The older Bowtechs, they had some issues. Then a few years went by when the V3 first came out. I went and got a V3. had problems out of it. Upgraded to the V3X, had problems out of it. Upgraded to the Phase 4, had problems out of it. Then my 3D bow at the time when I was shooting 3D archery, I had a TRX 8, which is a 40 axle to axle. It's an older Matthews target bow. I had problems out of it. Then I upgraded that to a TRX 38, and I had problems out of it. So I was like, I'm done with Matthews.
Yeah, Matthews this thing. Your luck with Matthews don't seem like it's too good. I shoot the 33 axle to axle. I haven't had a problem with the V3X. And to be honest with you, I probably don't need to upgrade, but you know how it is sometimes. You just the way they come out, the rate that they come out, you just be like, man, like I shot the Phase 4 and it was cool, but when I shot that lift, when the lift came out at my local, I almost got one. And now that they got the warranty, like no matter who owns it, if they don't make a big enough step, my next bow probably will end up being a lift.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I've been shooting.
What kind of sight are you running?
I've got a Trophy Ridge, and they're probably gonna come at me for this too, but I got a Trophy Ridge digital react. It's the digital dial sight. So you dial it
digital dial sight. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
It's a digital dial sight. Let me see if I can pull one up real quick on and I will show you exactly what it is. I love it.
Yeah,
but it's a Trophy Ridge. It's the Trophy Ridge React, basically. But it's digital.
Okay.
So when you dial,
so you're gonna range and it's gonna give you a number.
It's gonna give you a number. Here we go. Let me share my screen.
I don't know how I haven't heard of this one. That's a new one. When you said digital, my eyes almost jumped out of my glasses here.
Yeah, my best friend, man, he kind of turned me on. It was his first one. So right here, it's got your 1-pin sight.
Okay.
Then right here on the other side, there's your dial. So once you dial in your 20, dial in your 40, you can save those. And everything after that, you pretty much still gotta like fine tune it a little bit. But once you get it fine tuned, you save you got these buttons through here, and you save everything. So you'll go back to 20, make sure your 20 is right. Go back to your 40, make sure your 40 is right, and I always move back to 60. So once I know my 60's dialed in, I know I'm good to go. But it's all, you hit your power button right there. I basically got it for like tax, total archery challenge.
Yeah, I got you.
And I stuck with it. I loved it so much. I hunt with it.
So when you want to select the range, you just hit one of those buttons?
No, you just turn the dial.
Okay, you turn that dial and it's set and it's good to go.
Yeah,
that ain't too different than how you sighted my sight, except yours is digital. I shoot a HSA, that Tetra RYZ Rise.
Yeah.
You sight it in at 20, then you back up to 60, and then whatever the speed tape corresponds to, you put that tape on your dial, and then everything is set like after that. So same process. Just shoot a couple at 20, shoot some at 60, and then whatever you turn the dial to, it works. But I shoot a 2-pin mover though. So I got two yardages, and I pretty much leave it set at 25, and I can gap shoot anything else outside of that. If I need to move it, I probably ain't gonna take the shot.
I got, we both wear glasses. So me in the blind, if I'm hunting, I don't want to have to be looking down trying to figure out my 30, 40 or whatever. I could just hit that dial and it lights up for me. And it's got like 5 different settings where you got super bright and super low. So I keep it on low when I'm in the blind. And if I got to turn it, I can see that number instead of, after I range and see how far the deer is or whatever, turkey or whatever I'm shooting at, I can just turn that dial, pull back.
Go. That's pretty much the same. Like I said, by me keeping it at 25, I know my second pin is about 32. It's about a 7-yard distance. And when you draw them back, like I can see it still looking through I can see it like when I'm looking before I draw. So I know where I'm at. Like I said, I can just gap shoot because I practice like that too. But that's kind of cool, man. I hope they don't give you a hard time about it. Like we got to take advantage of the technology.
Some people don't. It's like, that ain't real hunting. And then I'm like, man, I can't see sometimes half the movies. You know, I gotta do what I gotta do. So y'all
While
can
we
give me flack over it. Y'all can do whatever, but I'm gonna use it whether you like it or not.
right,
So
right. While we talking about can't see, how do you deal with the fog in these glasses? That's one thing that tears me up more than anything. If I get a little bit of humidity, which it's always humid here in Houston, I can't see. My glasses fogging up, man. It gets rough sometimes.
shaving cream.
Do you know? Do are you? Do you know Tyler from St. Louis? He's on
Uh-uh.
Instagram. Tucky.
No, I don't think I know him. I might
I,
follow him, but
I
maybe
have
I
to.
don't know.
Yeah, I have to. If not, I have to link y'all up. But that's exactly what he told me too. I think I got the wrong lenses or something because it worked for me for
Shaving
maybe
cream.
20 minutes and then it was done.
I put shaving cream on the fronts and the backs, and I'll let it sit on there for maybe 2 minutes, a minute maybe, and just wash it off. And I ain't never had a problem with fog. I got that from my OG back in the day because I didn't. Well, I wore glasses when I was a kid, and then all through my high school years, I didn't need them. And then I was playing slow pitch softball about 5 years ago. We were playing a night game, and they had me on third base, and that ball was getting a little blurry, and it was coming at me real fast. So it was either catch it or eat it. And so
Hey,
I basically went to the doctor, and they're like, "Yeah, you need glasses. I got astigmatism in my left eye." And but when I'm 20/20 with these glasses on, so I wear
same.
glasses full time now. So
Yeah, so just a short story. Like you said, it was kind of I had glasses when I was younger, but then there was a point in time where I didn't need them. I went in when I was still in aviation. I went in for my flight physical that you got to get from the FAA, and I failed the
yeah,
vision exam. You got to have corrected the 20/20. So that's how I found out that I needed to go back and get glasses again. The doctor was like, "Yeah, I can't sign you off." So to the doctor I went, and I came back out with some glasses.
that's right. Oh, that's right. You in the military, right?
I was, yeah, I did
Yeah.
8 years in the army. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. I know
Hey, no
Veterans Day
problem.
just passed, so I appreciate your service, homie.
I appreciate you, man. No problem, man. It was a good old time, man. I do it all over again.
Uh, funny story, man. My best friend, he might not remember this, but I do. High school, you know how like the people come, the military comes to like your school,
Yeah.
and they get in the gym, and we can pay for your college, we can pay for this. But at the time, man, I hadn't got any like offers to go play ball. I wanted to, I was a hell of a basketball player, and I think I was a pretty good baseball player. I was a better basketball player, but baseball was where my heart was. And I had got no offers to go play baseball anywhere, and it just broke my heart. So I was like, okay, I'm about to take one of these, basketball scholarships and just go to college. Well, it was like 3 days before graduation, and I had like the Navy, the Army, the Marines, and Air Force come to the school in the gym, and the Marines grabbed me, the Army grabbed him. So he took me in the back and sitting there talking, the Marines are the first ones in, the last ones out. And I was like, let me stop you there, sir. I don't want to be the first one in. I want somebody to go in before me to let me know everything's all right. Like I don't want to be the first one in there. I said, let me be about the third or fourth group that goes in. It's like, no, man, we're the first ones. We knock the doors down. We're the first ones there. And then the Army comes, and then everybody else comes. I was like, sir, no, I'm good. Thank you.
You say
So
I'm good. Thank you.
I'll
Appreciate
walk
your
out.
time, buddy. I'm out of
Yeah.
here.
So I walk out. I'm about to walk out the gym, right? And my best friend is kind of still in the corner talking to these Army dudes. So I'm like signaling to him, like, hey, bro, let's go. And he like holds up the weight, the number one, like, hold on. And I said, man, I ain't waiting for you. So I go back in school, eat lunch, go to class, and next period, we usually kind of meet up in the hallway before we go to our next class or whatever. I said, where in the heck is Holden at? Like,
Yeah.
and my buddy Dom was like, I guess he's still in the gym. I said, ain't no way he's still in the gym. They was like, yeah, he's still talking to a recruiter. And I'm like, he's about to join. He's like, no, because at the time, like Holden's big now. He got a lot of, I call him Captain America. but he was 130 pounds, maybe, little short cat. I said, man,
Ain't no way.
he ain't about to do nothing in the military. Like, what they gonna do with him? Well, he ends up joining, and I think we maybe did 3 weeks together at WKU, which is Western Kentucky
Western
University.
Kentucky. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where we went to college, and then they shipped him off to boot camp or whatever. Man, when I tell you this man came back, had muscles everywhere. I said, dog, what they inject you with? The same stuff they did Captain America? So I started calling him Captain America. And dog, I'm telling you, he went from like this scrawny little kid. We called him Mowgli because he looked like Mowgli from the Jungle Book. That's exactly what he looked like. He come back, dude. He was all jacked up and tall. Like he was almost looking me in the eye. I'm 6'3". And I think I was like 6'1", 6'2" at the time, you know. And I'm like, what'd they do to you?
And you just eat a lot and run a lot and do a lot of push-ups and sit-ups, and
yeah, man,
you don't got no vices or nothing. You'll be surprised at how quickly it changed, man. It's the fastest 9 weeks of your life.
But he came back, man, and he had a couple, you know, when he came back from boot camp, then they sent him to Iraq. And once he got back from Iraq, you know, it took him a little bit to get adjusted because I guess everything that they see over there, which I never asked him, I never will, you know, it's him and whoever, you know, he's fighting for us, you know, fighting for our freedom. So
yeah, I'm one of the unlucky ones. I got to do both, Iraq and Afghanistan. I got to do both back to back with like a year off in between. I was like, all right, I've had enough. It's time to go.
Yeah, so I'll always have a special place in my heart for veterans, man. Because I mean,
we appreciate it, man, for sure.
I got family members that was in World War II, Vietnam, and then my best friend went over. So I was like, man, I got a lot of respect for y'all because I couldn't do it. I would do it if I had to, but like if they brought back the draft, I'm too old for the draft now. But at the time, you know, if they drafted, you know, I guess I had to go. But
they'll find something for you to do if you still want to go.
I'd be like
a medic or something.
I'd go in there and cook. I can't cook, but I'd figure it out.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man. Shifting gears a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Being an African American in this industry, in the outdoor world, some people want us here, some people don't want us here. Some people think, you know, we're just here to get some likes and views on Instagram and YouTube and whatever. But
some karma on Reddit, right?
Yeah, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and to get our name more out there and to people to really start taking us serious, what do you think has to happen?
I think we got to have people doing like what you're doing. People like what 24/7 and those guys are doing, and just people that are just doing it the right way for the right reason and portraying it authentically, because it is a lot of people that's out there that's doing it for the wrong reasons. But for somebody like me, it's like I was real into it like when I was a child, teenager. Then I kind of got off of it when I was in the military. So much going on, moving parts and all of that. But to be honest with you, man, the outdoors pretty much is what allowed me to like find myself again and be normal. It was like my therapy, my safe space. It was therapeutic, the solace and spending that time out there. So people like you, getting people like regular people like us on to just have a space to tell our stories and talk to people and represent it the right way. Because it's one thing you know about us, we can mess it up just as good as we can make it.
Oh yeah,
you got a lot of people out there just doing a bunch of crazy stuff. So you just got to be making sure you thinking about pushing it forward and setting a good example, and eventually, you know, the tide will turn eventually. Because the thing I always think about when you ask questions like that is like, why does nobody ever question it when it comes to fishing? Ain't nobody ever gave me a hard time about fishing ever in life. It's accepted. But I didn't even know that people that look like us, this was what we do, wasn't normal until I left Virginia.
Right.
There, you do it. Like, it's just what people do. It don't matter if you're black, brown, whatever. Everybody in the country hunt. You got dogs, you're running dogs, they shooting doves, they're doing everything, shooting squirrel. Like, that's just how it is, right? So I didn't realize it wasn't normal till I left and joined the Army and started meeting and talking to other people, to be honest with you. So the way that we can do it is by doing what we're doing right now. And I think as people see this more, people will be more comfortable to step out and be themselves, you know.
Right.
I think that's the biggest key, but we got to have a little help from some of these brands and some of these other institutions that have been in the industry, been in the sport for a long time. They need to, I feel like they can do a little bit more by putting some of the people on the pages. So when you go to an Instagram page, you don't just see what you typically see. It ain't just blonde hair, blue-eyed boys out here hunting and fishing. That's just not reality. Look at you, look at me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like there's gonna be some help from there. And like I said, 20 guys like 24/7, guys like you. I know Joe from Outdoors and Colors. You
Yeah,
know,
that's my
they're
boy
doing
right
it.
there.
Yeah, that's my man's too. I got the chance to go fishing with him earlier in the spring. That's my guy. Shout out to Joe. But I think that's just what we got to continue to do. But I feel like what we really, really, really need to get in is the media space. When I say media, I mean like TV. Because when you
Mm-hmm.
turn on Outdoor Channel, still ain't nothing. It's just like it was back in the day when I was watching it when hunting used to come on ESPN on Saturday morning and look just the same. From the ads that they show and the commercials that might turn off potential newcomers. Like we can do a whole lot better as a whole in that space. And
Yeah.
it takes all of us doing it as a collective, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's why I kind of respect 24/7 hunt as much as I do, because I just happened to be on YouTube one day, man, and I seen these black guys duck hunting. I said, "Who are these dudes?" And before I knew it, I'm down to dove hunt with them, the next year, because I was like, I got to meet these dudes. And if they can do it, I feel like everybody out there could do it,
For
you know,
sure. 1,000%.
and maybe, because they've got the niche in the waterfowl world. So maybe me, you, somebody else could find a niche in, the dove world or the deer world or somewhere like that, and then collectively come together and be like, "Hey, man, I'm about to go on this, Western elk hunt. You want to come with me?"
Yeah, Joe just got
So
back.
you
Joe
see,
just killed him one in Idaho. He just got
right?
back. I was so happy for him to see that. Like,
So
that's
you
what we
see
need.
two of us on the screen instead of one, and then
Yep.
maybe the next year we just keep adding people, so we know we got 15 guys out there that look like us, and we're all out there elk hunting or deer hunting or duck hunting or whatever, man. But I feel like a lot of these big name corporations, man, these big name companies are missing out on this side of hunting. And like I tell people, man, I'm not trying to make this a race thing or whatever, man, but like when you're growing up and you're not seeing anybody that looks like you, and this is a passion that you have, this is something that you're very interested in, it's kind of heartbreaking.
It is. Absolutely it is. It's discouraging at best. Cause you're like, man, well, like, is there something wrong with me? Am I weird? Like for wanting to do this? Like, should I want to do this? Like it's
Right.
easy to let that doubt and all of that creep in if you let it. Like it can
Yeah,
very
man.
well happen.
Like I was having this conversation with Hoodneck, which I got to get him back on because the audio quality wasn't up to my standards. So I'm gonna have to
Oh yeah,
re-interview him
shout out to
again.
Chris, man. You put me on with him too. Yep.
Yeah, Chris
Got
is
me
a
in
hell of a
contact with
dude.
him.
I love what he's doing out there too, man. But it
Same,
seems like
same.
we feel like as African American males that are in the outdoors, we feel like we're the only ones in our area that do this. Until you start looking on Instagram, like you, Hoodneck, Bubba Ray, Power Circle, 24/7. We're out there. We're just we're in different states, and 9 times out of 10, we're in small communities.
Yeah. But see, I feel like here in Houston, we got a little unique opportunity because you got Hoodneck here, you got Power Circle here. Now I'm here. I know you got people in the area, you'll be coming in and out. Like I feel like it's starting to build a little more momentum around here.
Yeah.
Um, it's definitely. I was just talking to Chris about this from Hoodneck. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. I was like, it seemed like we isolated, but I'm like, at least around here, this is with the biggest crew that I've seen of all people that are all doing the same thing in one place. Because like even on the East Coast, like I was in Virginia, but then Joe was in North Carolina. But I've seen a
Mm-hmm.
couple people in Virginia too. There's a guy named Killer Outdoors. He got a pretty good YouTube channel. He's out there in Virginia. There's another guy that just did some some type of bird hunting, some chuckers and something like that, not too far from where I used to live in Central Virginia. I just saw them. So we're out there, and it's coming.
Yeah, you need to follow this dude on Instagram. I think he's on Instagram, and I think he's on TikTok real heavy. His name's Foulboy J.
Oh, I know him. I seen him duck hunting. I seen that when that video went viral. I clicked follow immediately. I know exactly who you're talking about.
So I was gonna get him on last week, but
yeah, I can't wait for y'all to reschedule that one, man.
Yeah, we're gonna reschedule pretty soon, man. Because I had to go back and find that video that went viral, bro. This dude is a monster on a duck call.
Yes, he is.
Dude, I've seen, me and Pat was just talking about this the other day, man. Just with a little bit of tweaking, just a little bit. Not even, I wouldn't even know where to start because I can't blow a duck call like that. But
it's amazing.
That man could go right now, the weekend after Thanksgiving, and could win worlds or runner up in worlds. That's how good dude is.
Yeah, man. It's very, very, very impressive because I bought a duck call by accident. It was mixed in with some some, what do you call it? Like locator calls. It's supposed to be like an owl call from Primos. I was just playing around with it, man. When they trying to blow that thing, man, it's the worst sound you ever heard in your life. Like, I got to leave that to somebody else. I got to take like a whole season, off season, to try and hone that in.
I got my own custom right here. Got my
boy, who made that for you?
So my buddy,
I'm listening. You can talk. I can hear you. Hold on one second.
Oh, you good? So my buddy Jonathan Hill, shout out to him. I think it's Pied Piper hand calls or Pied Piper duck calls on Instagram. I just reached out to him, man. I said, "What kind of calls can you make?" And what he said, "Dude, I can pretty much make anything that your heart desires." And I'd always wanted my own custom duck call, and he started sending me some stuff that he'd done. So I got on his Instagram page and kind of found, what he could do or whatever. So I reached out to him, and
that's dope.
And it's dope, man. I'm still, like I said, I'm in here blowing it about every day, trying to, figure it out and get better with it, man. But yeah, like I was saying, man, like there's people all over. Like if the group of guys and even girls that I know now, like from this outdoor world that are just African Americans, dude, we could get all of us together somewhere and have like me and Trey was talking about. Trey really wants to do this. Dreaded Archer.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to Trey.
Shout out to Trey.
He wants to get all of us together in like a big festival and just like chop it up. Because I feel like as many people that I know now on Instagram that I've talked to because of my page and the people that Trey's hooked me up with, the people that Bubba's hooked me up with, Lathan Buckley, he's out in Bozeman, Montana now. He works for Sick.
Yeah, shout out to Lathan. Talked to him a little bit earlier too. I've ran into him because of your show as well.
Yeah, Joe, Outdoors in Color, like all these guys, man, get us all together for a weekend and just pick each other's brains and figure this out. Because
or let's pull the cameras out. Let's pull the cameras out. Let's get busy and let's show them how we really, really get down. And then they can't deny us.
Exactly. I mean, I think that would be if we could get like something like it together, like Total Archery channels like they have every year.
Yeah.
What if we can get something together with all of us being African Americans and how many people we can get and the people that we know?
Yeah, it'd be nice to do it and then like have it near like let's have it in like, normally these places in like Bozeman, no disrespect to anybody out in Bozeman, but it's not the most ideal location for our demographic. Let's say we can get it somewhere close to like, let's say Detroit or inner city or places where they got these, I mean, even down here, I feel like we could put something together being close to Houston. The opportunity and the space is limitless out here. Yeah. I'm not 30 minutes from downtown and there's space and opportunity everywhere. Even in the South, like Atlanta, there's so many other. because there's another OG in the game too that's out there doing this thing. It's called, Eric Morris. You familiar with him?
I'm not familiar with him.
Okay,
Eric,
non-typical outdoorsman. I'll put you on his page. He's doing a lot of the same thing. He's an older guy, Army vet, kind of OG, just like Bubba Ray. It's a non-typical outdoorsman. You might want to pull him on and holler at him. He got some experiences and some stories. He runs a lot of clinics, introducing marksmanship, teaching survival skills, how to do all the field dressing and all that stuff that comes with it. And he do it for like inner city kids because he's in Georgia, not too far from Atlanta. When I just said Atlanta made me think of him. So I mean, we all are out here doing it. He has a TV show too as well with some episodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna check him out, man. But yeah, it's like my long-term goal for my brand, man, is basically to get some of these inner city kids in, bus them to Kentucky where I'm at, and have them for a weekend or a week and just teach them everything that I know. Have everybody, I could get Trey down here, shout out to my buddy Kenton. He's the ambassador for Kentucky.
I heard that episode too. I know who you're talking about.
Color. And he's got a lot of connections, and just like everybody that I can think of, and we teach these inner city kids something new.
Exactly.
So give them something else to put on their resume.
Yeah, like you were just talking about getting together and doing something. Like I don't know if you remember a long time ago, like not too long ago, but when I sent you that email with all that stuff in there, like one of the things in there where I was like, we could do something like on maybe a weekend or a week on our annual basis that's similar to Boy Scouts, where we teach those type of skills, but teach it to our, everybody's always welcome, of course, but then the focus would be getting new people out there, people from our demographic, letting them see us and like, hey, basically we got to normalize what's going on.
Right.
With us, and it shouldn't be strange.
Right. Yeah, that'd be dope. Because I know Trey's been trying to get one together forever now, and I think he's pretty close. I say he might be a year, maybe 2 years out of doing it, man. But I love what him and his brother are up there doing in South Dakota, man. They're getting with it.
You're right here. If y'all need anything from me, anything I can do, any resources, whether that's anything to help, y'all just give me everybody got my phone number, and just give me a call or send me a DM on Instagram. You can get with it. Anything you need, I'm willing to put in.
Yeah, it
works better when we all rowing in the same direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So what's I guess the best lesson that you've learned from the outdoors?
The best lesson I've learned from the outdoors, man, it's got to be the value of patience. That's got to be patience, man, because I'll tell you a quick story. Veterans Day 2022. I'm in the tree stand. I've been out. It's the rut. It was November 11th, 2022. I'll never forget it. I seen a nice buck on camera, but that morning I went out. I got in the stand early before daylight, but I got down at about 10:30 or so. I said, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm going to get down out this tree. I'm going to go on in the house and get something to eat. Get back up there in the evening time, hunt, don't see no deer. Wouldn't you know it, when I checked the camera the next day on the 12th, I had the biggest mature 8-point deer I've ever seen on camera. It would have been, if I saw him and would have killed him, definitely would have been smashed. Easily the biggest thing I ever seen. That deer walked through at 11:02. I got out at 10:32. 11:02, that deer hit my camera 12 yards from the tree stand.
Yeah, 30
on
minutes.
The game trail. And that one stung. That one stuck with me. If it's in a rut, I need to be ready, have my butt in that tree, and be there all day long, do whatever it takes. You can't get impatient with it, man. Like that, that's for sure the biggest one.
Yeah, that's what I'm teaching my son now, man. He's at that age, man. He's been watching these TV shows with me, and he thinks it's going to be like them TV shows. I said, Bub, there's no telling how long these guys have been sitting or how many times they've been in that same tree to get that 15 seconds of footage to get to YouTube for you to see. That's the part you don't see. And he just he's having a hard time. He understands it, but he's just like,
It's hard when
get
you're
out
a
there.
kid to put it together like that. Like
It's
that's
Daddy,
why
where's the deer?
out there, I spoiled my son. He went with me last year on Thanksgiving Day for the first time. I couldn't climb a tree or nothing. Plus, he was only 5 at the time, so we weren't gonna climb no tree. But I had torn my rotator cuff and I had a cast because I did some ligament damage in my wrist on the other hand. It was the first day I got the cast off, set up a ground blind, right? We go out there, we set up, first light comes. We hadn't been out there maybe 45 minutes. I actually had just gave him the grunt tube to kind of like keep him involved, make him feel like he was doing something.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, 7-pointer walks up at 25 yards and I kill him. So now he thinks that's the way it's going to go every single time. He's like, well, last time we just went out here, we blew the horn, as he called it. Because I got him on video blowing it. The deer shows up not too long after, we kill him and it was over. So when we just sit there all day now, like I don't think he cared for that too much because it's not like how it happened last time. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, man, it's hard to get him to understand that. He gets fidgety and he eats every snack that I got in my bag, drinks all my water, and he finally
I hate to
falls
admit it,
asleep.
In a pinch, I'll pull that iPad out. I'll pull that tablet out with his little headphones and let him do a little Roblox or something to keep him in the game if I have to. I hate to admit it, but
I might have to do it myself because it's everybody out there. I know this. If you're taking a kid and that young, I know my pain that I'm going through. But
yes, sir.
I try, man. I try to
gotta give him some credit, man. He ain't too bad. Like we take long road trips from Texas to Virginia often, and not once do they ask, "Are we there yet?" Like I got lucky in that aspect. They enjoy it, so it's not too painful. But I know it can be sometimes when it ain't your day. It ain't your day. Like sometimes it ain't nothing you can do to keep them happy out there.
Yeah, I heard that. So yeah, man. I got basically one more question for you, and I'll get you off here, man. I know it's late and everything.
Yes, sir.
Your dream hunt. Where are you going? What you hunting for?
Where am I going and what am I hunting for? Unit 1, elk in Colorado. It's gotta be it for me. With a bow.
With a bow.
Of course, with a bow.
I figured you was gonna say something with elk.
Yeah. Hey, look, you talk about calls, right? Like earlier, I was like, I got all mine right here in the fridge. Got to keep the latex nice, man. I got them all. Got them all ready to go. Be annoying everybody in the house blowing on them. But yeah, that would be it for me for sure.
That's what's up, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. Getting on this podcast with me and everything. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. Anything that I can do to help you out with your journey, whether you get a podcast started with your own brand or whatever you want to do, man, if I could be of any service, man, my phone's always open to you.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you having me on today too, man. I appreciate everything you've done for me. You've done a lot already. I don't know if people know that about you, like behind the scenes, but you really, really are like a helpful dude. And he's not just somebody just saying that. He's personally helped me. So salute to you, man. I really, really appreciate you and everything you're doing.
I appreciate that, man. It makes me feel good, man, because, I'm out here grinding. I've got a few companies that I'm working with. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily sponsored by them, but mostly everything I do comes out of my pocket,
Same.
I try to get on here and make the best content that I can, try to get the best guests that I can. Just people, even if they're not big in the outdoor industry, I want to get people like us that look like us on here to tell their story.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate it too.
So,
definitely appreciate you.
So yeah, man, my phone is always open to you. If I can help you in any way, we definitely gonna have to get together. I know I say this on every podcast with every guest.
Now I'm gonna hold you to it though. Now
we need to get
I'm gonna hold you to it. I know where your relatives at. I know where you're trying to go. So when you come on out here, we gonna get it done. But I travel too, so my truck work. That Chevrolet gonna get me there, baby.
I hear you. I got a Chevy and a Dodge, so I can get both
of them. How that work? We ain't got time. We'll talk about that off.
Well, yeah, that's a story for another time. If my dad
you can't do both. Come on, man, pick one.
dad knew I was driving a Dodge, he'd be rolling over in his grave right now.
Yeah, you gotta trade that in, man. They're giving good prices right now. Get the Dodge out of there, man. Do the right thing. Bow tie or die, baby.
I like my Dodges, man. Like, well, I've always been a Chevy guy, but my last Chevy I went through about 3 transmissions, so I wanted to try something new. And that Hemi's a bad dude. So
I can't deny that. I can't sit here and tell no lie. Too many people watching.
I hear you, dog. But how can people get a hold of you, man, if they want to ask you some questions or follow you or whatever? Shout out all your social medias.
It'll be at Mr. J Cam on Instagram and pretty much everything. That's it. Just at MRJAYCAM at Mr. J Cam is where you can find me. And I appreciate you having me again, brother.
Yes, sir, man. Well, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Justin Campbell, man. He's back in the good old Lone Star State. Down there with some few buddies of mine, Bubba Ray, Pat, Power Circle Outdoors, Hood Neck, all them boys down there, man. Shout out to all them, man. This episode will be available on anywhere you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Spotify, my YouTube channel. Make sure you give it a like. Make sure you follow Justin. Make sure you follow everybody like that. If you need me for anything, you can always reach out to me on any of my social medias that We Do This Too Outdoors, or my personal page on Facebook, Courtney Williamson. So big game, small game, all game. We do this too.